the forbidden forest of Thailand where ancient gamelan music still plays at night. Long before mobile phones, bright city lights, and busy highways reached the countryside of Thailand, village mornings began quietly beneath soft layers of mist. Roosters crowed behind wooden homes while cold morning air drifted across flooded rice fields reflecting the pale sunrise sky. In one peaceful village surrounded by bamboo forests lived a boy named Arun and his younger friend Molly. Every morning, they walked along muddy roads carrying old school bags while farmers guided buffalo through shallow water nearby. The smell of wet soil after monsoon rain filled the air, mixing with smoke rising gently from village kitchens preparing breakfast. Life in the village moved slowly during those years. Children still played outside until sunset. Families listened to old radios during storms. Nights felt darker, quieter, and somehow more magical than the modern world would ever become. And hidden deep beyond the rice fields stood a forest no child was supposed to enter after dark. Because according to the oldest villagers, ancient music still echoed there at night. That afternoon, rainwater still covered the village roads after another passing monsoon storm. Arun and his best friend Somchai raced their rusty bicycles through muddy puddles while dark clouds drifted slowly overhead. Their laughter echoed across the countryside as bicycle bells rang through the humid air. Villagers smiled from wooden porches while old radios played distant music somewhere beside the tea stalls. For children growing up during the 1990s, happiness came from simple things. A muddy road, a bicycle, a cloudy afternoon, and the freedom to wander endlessly beneath the monsoon sky. But every child in the village knew one important rule. Never follow strange sounds coming from the forbidden forest after sunset. That evening, heavy rain covered the village once again. Electricity disappeared during the storm, leaving homes illuminated only by the warm glow of kerosene lamps. Inside the wooden house, Grandma Charia sat quietly beside Molly while rain tapped softly against bamboo windows. Stormy nights were when the oldest stories returned. For generations, villagers had spoken about mysterious music drifting through the forest during monsoon nights. Some described hearing ancient drums. Others heard soft flute melodies moving between the bamboo trees long after midnight. According to the legend, the music came from forgotten spirits protecting an abandoned temple hidden deep inside the forest. And anyone who followed the music too far into the darkness risked never returning home again. The next afternoon felt peaceful once more. Village children gathered beneath an enormous banyan tree playing Sepak Takraw, while warm sunlight covered the dusty field. An old radio near the tea stall played nostalgic songs while wind moved gently through the rice fields nearby. Buffalo rested lazily beneath palm trees while dragonflies floated above shallow water beside the road. For children growing up in old Southeast Asian villages, these simple afternoons became memories that would stay warm inside their hearts forever. But even during moments of happiness, older villagers sometimes glanced nervously toward the distant forest whenever dark clouds returned. Near sunset, Uncle Presert repaired fishing nets beside the quiet river, while orange light reflected softly across the water. Arun sat nearby listening carefully as the old fisherman spoke about strange sounds villagers still heard during heavy storms. Years ago, several travelers reportedly disappeared after entering the forbidden forest at night, while chasing mysterious music through the rain. Some villagers believed ancient spirits still guarded forgotten temple ruins hidden deep among the bamboo trees. Others believed the music itself was alive. And once someone followed it, the forest would never let them leave. As evening arrived, glowing fireflies floated gently above the bamboo grass fields surrounding the village. Arun and Molly sat quietly together watching the orange sunset disappear behind the mountains while insects chirped softly through the humid air. The rainy season transformed the countryside into another world. Mist covered distant roads. The river slowly flooded, and the forbidden forest appeared darker and more mysterious each night. Somewhere far away, thunder rolled softly beyond the trees. Several days later, Arun and Somchai wandered toward the edge of the forbidden forest after noticing unusual footprints beside a muddy path. The footprints looked fresh, large, and strangely uneven. Wind moved through the bamboo trees while distant thunder echoed overhead. Then suddenly both boys froze. Somewhere deep inside the forest, faint music drifted softly through the air. Slow metallic instruments. Ancient drums. A haunting melody carried by the wind. The sound disappeared almost immediately. But neither boy forgot it. That night during another blackout, Grandma Cheria revealed the oldest version of the village legend. Long ago, traveling musicians once performed sacred music inside a hidden jungle temple deep within the forest. But during a violent monsoon flood many generations earlier, the musicians vanished mysteriously without a trace. Since then, villagers claim their music still echoed through the bamboo trees during stormy nights. Some believe the spirits remain trapped inside the forest forever, still performing their final song beneath the rain. The following evening, Arun sat quietly beside the old CRT television while static flickered across the screen. Rainwater dripped softly from the roof outside while the ceiling fan spun slowly overhead. Then suddenly, through the sound of the storm, Arun heard it again. A distant flute melody drifting faintly through the night. Slow, ancient, beautiful, and coming from somewhere beyond the forest. As the annual Temple Lantern Festival approached, villagers decorated the streets using colorful paper lanterns and candles. Women prepared traditional sweets while children carried lanterns through muddy roads glowing beneath the sunset. Molly helped the older women fold paper decorations, but her attention kept drifting toward the distant forest beyond the rice fields. Because even during the cheerful preparations, faint music still echoed somewhere far away beneath the coming rain. That evening, Arun and Samchai secretly followed the mysterious music beyond the flooded rice fields. The cloudy sky darkened rapidly while cold wind swept across the countryside. The strange melody grew louder as they approached the bamboo forest. Every note felt ancient, almost alive. The deeper they walked, the quieter the world behind them became. Later that night, nervous whispers spread throughout the village tea stall. Several villagers claimed they had heard ancient music coming from the forest after midnight once again. Some elders believed the spirits had awakened because the monsoon season had become unusually strong that year. Others warned children never to answer music calling from the darkness. Because according to old folklore, the forest only sang for those it wanted to keep forever. Near midnight, Arun stood frozen beside the forest entrance while glowing lantern lights drifted silently between the bamboo trees. Mist covered the muddy ground while the haunting melody continued echoing softly through the darkness. The lights moved slowly deeper into the forest, as if guiding someone forward. And despite the fear growing inside him, Arun could not look away. The following night, Arun and Samchai finally entered the forbidden forest together. Rainwater dripped from bamboo leaves overhead while thick fog covered the narrow path beneath their feet. The ancient music echoed clearly now. Metallic instruments, slow drums, soft flute melodies floating through the mist. The deeper they walked, the stranger the forest became. The wind felt colder. The shadows moved unnaturally. And somewhere ahead, glowing lantern light flickered between the trees. Back inside the village house, Grandma Cheria explained the final part of the legend to Molly beside the flickering oil lamp. According to ancient stories, the spirits inside the forest were not evil. They were forgotten musicians trapped between worlds after the Great Flood destroyed their temple long ago. During stormy nights, their music returned searching for listeners who still remembered them. And sometimes, children wandering too far into the forest accidentally became lost within their endless song. Deep within the forest, Arun finally discovered ancient temple ruins hidden beneath giant roots and moss-covered stone walls. Rain fell softly through broken rooftops while glowing lanterns floated silently through the darkness. Then slowly, a mysterious figure appeared beside the ruined temple altar. The forest music spirit. Ancient ceremonial robes moved gently in the wind while floating instruments surrounded the glowing figure. The spirit never spoke. Yet somehow, the music itself seemed to communicate directly through the rain and silence surrounding the temple. Without warning, the monsoon storm became violent. Thunder cracked loudly overhead while floodwater rushed through the jungle paths. Arun and Samchai ran for shelter inside the abandoned temple ruins as rain poured endlessly outside. The mysterious music continued echoing through the darkness surrounding them. Slow, beautiful, and deeply sad. For the first time, the boys understood the music was not trying to frighten them. It was mourning something lost long ago. Back in the village, Uncle Presert gathered several villagers carrying oil lamps before entering the storm. The flooded roads had nearly disappeared beneath rising water, while strong wind shook the bamboo trees violently. Villagers searched desperately through muddy forest paths, calling the boys' names into the darkness. But only ancient music answered from somewhere deep within the rain. Inside the wooden house, Molly prayed quietly beside glowing temple candles while Grandma Cheria comforted her gently. Rain shook the walls while thunder echoed endlessly across the countryside. The village felt completely swallowed by darkness and storm. Yet within the warm candlelight, hope still remained alive. Inside the flooded temple ruins, the forest music spirit slowly lifted a glowing lantern. The ancient music changed. No longer sorrowful. Now calm. Gentle. Guiding. Without speaking, the spirit walked slowly through hidden jungle paths while Arun and Samchai followed carefully behind. The glowing lantern reflected across floodwater like floating stars. And somehow, the storm itself began calming around them. As the boys continued following the spirit, glowing fireflies appeared through the mist surrounding the narrow path. Distant temple bells echoed softly somewhere beyond the trees while the first pale light of dawn slowly touched the sky. The forest no longer felt frightening, only ancient, peaceful, and deeply sad. At sunrise, villagers finally discovered Arun and Samchai beside the riverbank near the edge of the forest. Their clothes were soaked with rain and mud, but they were safe. Families rushed toward them through shallow floodwater, while warm golden sunlight broke through the storm clouds above the countryside. And just before disappearing completely, Arun noticed one final glowing lantern fading silently back into the mist. Later that morning, Grandma Cheria explained the meaning behind the legend. The forest spirits were guardians of forgotten memories. Their music survived because the village continued remembering them through stories, festivals, and traditions passed down through generations. As long as people remembered the old songs, the spirits would never truly disappear. That evening, the annual Lantern Festival finally began beside the calm river. Hundreds of glowing lanterns floated gently across the dark water, while traditional music echoed softly through the village streets. Arun and Molly released their lantern together beneath the warm monsoon wind. And somewhere far beyond the river, faint ancient music still drifted peacefully through the bamboo forest. Children laughed beneath colorful lantern decorations while villagers shared food, stories, and old songs together late into the evening. Warm lights reflected across puddles left behind by the storm. The smell of rain, tea, and incense filled the humid night air. For children growing up during those quiet years of the 1990s, moments like these became memories carried forever inside the heart. Later that night, village elders gathered beside the tea stall listening to soft rain falling outside. Stories about the forest continued quietly beneath the lantern glow. Some legends disappeared over time, but others remained alive for generations, especially stories carried by music. The next morning, Arun rode his rusty bicycle slowly through peaceful countryside roads beneath a golden sunrise. Everything looked familiar. The rice fields, the muddy paths, the distant bamboo forest. Yet nothing felt ordinary anymore. Because now he understood the forest was not haunted by evil spirits. It was protecting forgotten memories from another time. That evening, Molly eventually fell asleep beside Grandma Cheria beneath the warm glow of the oil lamp while rain tapped softly against the roof outside. Inside the quiet wooden house, peace finally returned once again. The storm had passed, but the music of the forest still lingered gently within their memories. Deep within the forbidden forest, the forest music spirit stood silently beside the ancient temple ruins once more. Lantern light reflected softly across the wet stone floor, while ghostly instruments floated through the mist. The music continued quietly beneath the monsoon night, waiting, remembering, never truly ending. As thousands of glowing lanterns rose into the rainy night sky above the old Thai village, the sound of distant ancient music drifted softly beyond the bamboo trees one final time. Warm wind moved gently through the countryside while temple bells echoed faintly across the river. And somewhere hidden deep inside the forbidden forest, forgotten musicians still played their endless song beneath the rain.